Hey guys, so those of you that watch us every week know how I feel about sales and the fact that sales can pretty much solve any problem a company has because everything else solves itself. It's really the lack of sales that causes most of the other problem. Or if you don't have a company, if it's just you, it's typically not that your expenses are too high, it's the fact that your income is too low. That's the problem. And so today, this week, I want to talk a little bit about sales and marketing and hope that it will help you progress, it will help you increase your sales and help you just do better. So the first thing I want to talk about is the fact that a lot of people look for something super innovative, super new, something that doesn't exist, something that is the best of its kind before they actually approach selling something. They think that everything else has been done, everything else our people are already selling. There's thousands of sellers out there. There's no way for me to enter that market. I need to find something that nobody has, that nobody has seen before. Now that's a huge problem and it's a very, very wrong proposition. First of all, if you're going to create a category, sure, you could make millions and millions, but for you to reach that point with a new category will take you so much money and so much time because there's no market for what you're selling yet. Instead, concentrate on something that there's a huge market for. Last week, we met somebody that was making millions and millions in turnover, selling the most basic stuff. Paper, kitchen appliances, little, pencils that were a little bit unique, little agendas, things like that. You'd think that why would anybody enter that market? Millions of people are selling it. No, they're not. If you find a product which is slightly different, a product that you can make a deal with and try to sell it on Amazon and on all these different platforms that are available for you, you can still make quite a lot of money doing that. You just need to tell a better story. You need to present it a little better, but it's not a reason for you not to start selling something because you don't have the most innovative or the most, best tasting or best working product. I'll give you an example. If that would be true, that you need to have the best tasting, the best performing product, then imagine how would people actually, or how would companies compete on selling pet food? Right? Dog food, cat food, people are not actually tasting it or trying it. They're buying it based on story and promises that the company makes. They want to feel that their pet is getting the best food, but they're not actually eating it. So if they're able to tell a story and sell something based on a story, you could sell anything based on a good story, and it doesn't have to be something that nobody knows about. It's a lot easier to go with something mainstream. Now, second thing is about marketing. I read a really cool story from Seth Godin in his This Is Marketing book, and he gave that amazing example about this bright purple powder. You probably know if you go to any retail shop, a lot of the expensive clothes have those little liquid, bright purple liquid on them, which if it breaks, if you try to steal it and it breaks, it's very, very difficult to get off your skin. Your skin turns purple, the cloth turns purple, and basically the thing is ruined. So what he says is, if you were to take this little powder and just take a teaspoon of it and throw it in a pool, the entire water in the pool would instantly turn purple permanently, right? But if you would take the same tablespoon and you would throw it in the sea, nobody would tell the difference. And that's exactly how marketing works. Even if you have a product which you think could be useful for everybody, never, ever, ever try to sell it to everybody. Pick a niche, pick a small target that niche one way, target another niche another way. When you try to take a one glove approach that fits everybody, it never ever works. And think about that story and that analogy with the purple powder all the time. I think about it, it helps me all the time, because if you're able to penetrate one demographic very, very well, they will accept it, they will spread, and they will start selling it for you. And you don't have to, fire on all cylinders trying to sell to everybody. So targeting in marketing is very, very crucial and very, very important. Finally, one thing that is super important is that's actually, I think, stopping a lot of you guys from selling better or at a higher price is the fact that a lot of you are trying to sell to yourself. The problem is a lot of people cannot sell to high net worth individuals, to really rich people, because they have the limitations of they're trying to sell to themselves. They don't see how somebody can pay $10,000 for a bottle of wine because they have never paid $10,000 for a wine bottle. They don't understand how you could sell something to somebody for $500,000, $100,000 because they've never paid that money. And so I really like to use the golf analogy in here. In golf, you have handicap, which means that a player that's extremely good in golf could still play with somebody that's just starting. They just have a different handicap. So it's the exact same thing in sales. When you sell to somebody, sell something to somebody that's significantly wealthier than you, don't put yourself on a lower level. Think of that handicap golf analogy. Sell as a partner would sell to a partner. Be a problem solver, not a salesperson. It's kind of like if your friend would need a car from you, would call you up and say, listen, I need to go somewhere out of town. Can I borrow your car? You don't talk to him like, oh yeah, of course, sure, you can have my car. No, he has a problem. He's approaching you and you're helping him solve the problem. It's exactly the same thing in sales. And if you approach it that way, it'll be a lot easier for you to sell to those high net worth guys. Don't chase the sale. Be very nonchalant, act as if you're helping them solve a problem, and go for those high margin sales, those high ticket items without thinking that I would never be able to afford it, I would never be able to pay for it, so nobody else will. No, these people pay for exclusivity. They pay for something that can either increase their status, their power, or their self-image. If you sell to them, if you come up with stories and sell to them in such a way that helps them increase their status, their power, or their self-image, they'll buy from you. They don't care what it costs, they'll buy from you. So don't reflect your insecurities, your budget limitations on the prospect that you're trying to sell to. Very, very important. I hope those points will help you in sales and marketing. If you would like to ask me anything about sort of different tips on sales and marketing, feel free, write in the comments, write us an email. We would love to talk more about it later on. Until then, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, and see you next week.